A 2021 main event at flyweight, remixed to 2023 at strawweight in the 3-rounder. Matt, we have Marina Rodriguez taking on Michelle Waterson-Gomez for a second time. And when you go back and you watch that original matchup, a 48-47, 2 49-46s, a good fourth round for Waterson-Gomez. She was able to, midway through the round, pressure the pace, get the underhook, just one of them, trip takedown. And once she got on top of Marina Rodriguez, oh boy, Rodriguez was completely lost and started to strike off her back because that's all she had. Waterson-Gomez didn't have the same success in the 5th round, but she was more aggressive in that round as well. So fun rewatch there. But when you look at what's happened to both these women since that fight, Rodriguez goes on to have a fight in the night against Mackenzie Dern, controversially beats Yan Xiaonan, and then it's been 2 losses since for Rodriguez. She loses to Amanda Lemos by knockout. She loses to Vina Jandiroba, and she got taken down and rinse and repeated in that fight. So, Matt, when it comes down to it, Rodriguez, the last 2 fights, she was tentative on the outside against Lemos. She couldn't get her striking going. She couldn't do much of anything against Jandiroba. For Michelle Waterson-Gomez, she's fought twice. Not as many times, so half as many. She loses in a fight. And yes, it was a loss against Amanda Lemos by submission. But it turns out, other than title fights, Amanda Lemos is pretty good, other than fighting Jessica Andrade. And then for Waterson-Gomez, her last time out, she takes on Luana Pinheiro. Matt, in that fight, majority scored that fight out there, not the judges. Majority for Michelle Waterson-Gomez, round 2, round 3. And if you watch it, the first round, Pinheiro has a lot of success. But Waterson-Gomez, I mean, the side kick to the leg and the side kick to the body, they took great effect against Pinheiro. And even in the 5th round of the fight that Waterson-Gomez had with Rodriguez, the side kick, she hits a kick to the face to Rodriguez and one to the body in quick succession. I might have mixed the 2 up. But you had a big, welt to Rodriguez's jaw, and she was moving a little bit differently as that 5th round went on. So, I know Waterson-Gomez, former atomweight champ with Invicta. She had a crazy story career. She's got, 1.6 million Instagram followers. She's the A-side in this fight, even in the rematch.
Let me quote John Cena here real quick. Fine speech. You've really set this up for Waterson-Gomez to go out there and have this swan song of a performance to her head. She's going to go out there and right the wrongs of her past and have a much more complete performance. I'll tell you right now, I think Marina Rodriguez wins this fight, and this is why. I know you have brought out reasons how Rodriguez has lost a previous couple of matchups. Against Lemos, you have to be tentative against her. Guess what? Everybody has to be, because she is a one-of-one puncher in this division. And against Vina, Vina's really well-rounded and has great wrestling, and it's not wrestling from a clinch position, right, that we see a lot in women's MMA. It's single legs, it's double legs, it is chain wrestling, and the types of wrestling that don't allow you to create that space. You brought it up yourself, too. When Waterson-Gomez is able to get takedowns, it really is a lot of those body trips and upper body takedowns, and yes, she is very good at those, but Marina Rodriguez does a good job of digging underhooks. I know she's not always able to complete all of her takedown defense, but she can at least defend takedowns for people who shoot more traditional types of wrestling attacks, whereas Gomez does go for a lot more of those judo-type throws, and if she is trying to use her hands to get into clinch and not focus defensively, I think she's going to need a lot of shots getting into that range, because Gomez does do a good job with those side kicks and front kicks at her long distance, but every time I know the Karate Hottie, her stand-up's so good. There have been a number of fighters at this stage of her career that have been able to have success against her on the feet, because if you crowd that distance and get rid of not only her footwork, but her ability to throw some of those longer distance push kicks from that side stance, it does eliminate a lot of the offense from the outside, because yes, she can throw boxing combinations, don't get me wrong, but the boxing doesn't have a tremendous amount of power behind it, and if she does get into a slugfest with a fighter like Rodriguez, okay, Rodriguez came up short against Lemos, you've got me, my bad. But I don't think Waterson-Gomez... I know, I just mean in terms of TKO. I don't think Waterson-Gomez is going to be able to throw hands with someone like Rodriguez, who might not be a TKO artist, a knockout artist, but she's definitely a damaging striker at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, a fight of the night against Mackenzie Dern, as I mentioned, that, what was it, 2nd round? That was the one that was kind of chintzy. Dern looking for the submission in that one. But by and large, Rodriguez had some good success with the striking. But for Rodriguez, coming in off Contender Series, yes, Contender Series, against, what was it? What is her nickname? Spider Girl? Old Spider Girl from down in Brazil as well. The no mas knockout or TKO win. When you look at it for Marina Rodriguez and for Michelle Waterson-Gomez, Rodriguez, the wave of success. She had the draws, which were kind of odd. Takedown defense. It was always an issue. Again, Carla Esparza, the Randa Marcos fight. Mackenzie Dern, Amanda Lemos, who ended up getting a win, a finish win. For Michelle Waterson-Gomez, the last win, a split decision in a main event against Angela Hill. That was a meaningful amount of time ago. But for Waterson-Gomez, again, 18-11, you get there somehow, some way, and it's with fights like this. So when you do look at it...
I'm gonna make it a rap and not a rat now.
Before that, 2019 for Waterson-Gomez against Kovalkiewicz, Herrig, and Courtney Casey. Courtney Casey.
Who would Chad Kroger pick in this fight?
Chad Kroger? He'd take the under on the haircut, just getting rid of the ramen noodle for the short spike. Matt, in this one, Rodriguez, a pretty darn big favorite, more than a favorite now than she was in the original matchup. We have a look at the Topology votes. Surprised us there to you, but no, they're not, because these votes are crazy. I'm going to say over under 90% Rodriguez. How about that?
Over.
How about that? Over? Oh.
Well, this is the thing, and this is why I don't get surprised by the votes, just because... Every vote's 100% one way or the other. It's not like people are saying, well, no, it's not like people are saying, oh, I'm 60-40 this way. So every time somebody votes, it's just going to be that. So, okay, if you just ask somebody up front, who do you think's going to win, Waterson-Gomez or Rodriguez? The majority of people, 93 out of 100, I'd probably say, are going to say Rodriguez. You always get very surprised by the votes, where it never really surprises me.
You're making it seem like I'm Steve Brule and I don't understand what the consequences are of a single decision. So when you do look at this one, Matt...
It's always very off-put by these, and I never understand why.
93% of the fans going Rodriguez, 85% by decision. For the 7% that have Waterson-Gomez, 73% by decision. I have Rodriguez in the matchup. I mean, backs against the wall, and when she comes out firing with her striking, she can typically get the win. You don't see a lot of boxers beat a lot of sidewinding kickers like Michelle Waterson-Gomez, but again, the reach advantage of Rodriguez, the Muay Thai Rodriguez.
Is like, where's Wonder Boy? Find him again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go with Marina Rodriguez in the rematch.
I got Marina Rodriguez, and it's no disrespect to Waterson-Gomez, and you might even look at the ages and think, wow, they are quite similar in ages, so maybe they do have a similar amount left in the tank. I see for Waterson-Gomez, she has spent a lot of time fighting at the highest level.
She looked really good against an up-and-coming prospect in Pinedo her last time out.
But that's the big difference. Like, you had a close fight that could have gone either way with an up-and-coming prospect. Rodriguez fought Vina, who's really good and has been around the rankings for a very long time, basically her whole entire career, and lost to Lemos. She was the #1 contender. Like, if she fought Pinedo, she beat the brakes off her. So, I think Waterson-Gomez has the skills to win. I just don't know if she's going to be able to go out there and enforce them. So, for that reason, I have Rodriguez.
We will see who gets the win. Both of us going with Brazil's Marina Rodriguez to get it done. Matt, co-main event. It's awesome. It could be a main event. You have Dan Ige taking on Bryce Mitchell. That's coming up next. Make sure you check that out. You toss a like on the way out and keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks. We always say, let's get into it.